Electricast.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
The kids are still at practice, and I have no idea what's for dinner.
You can get a rotisserie chicken and 2 sides for just $15 in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Who said that? Who's in my house? Don't play with me, because I'm not the one.
It's just your friendly Walmart announcer. This is a commercial.
Oh, okay. You were saying dinner for a family was just $15?
Yep, it'll be at your door by the time you get the kids home from practice. Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Subject to availability, restrictions and fees apply.
Now that was a helpful commercial.
Welcome into Missing the Point. I am your host, Michael Marcangelo, joined by my guys, the real BK Bob Kelly, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, and it's the dog days of summer, folks. Celtics are the world champions. Patriots suck. Cowboys still suck. Bears are going to be good. Red Sox are going to trade it all away at the deadline. Dog days of summer here. So we're going to give you some content, some fresh new content. And what better than to give our spin on the real BK's power rankings with the added twist of DK Sizzle's game shows. So what we are here to do for you today is to give you the definitive top 10 sports dynasty list of all time, with a little MTP flavor. So how this is going to go, so it's not just the three of us, just giving you our top 10 each and letting you decide which one is better. We're each going to give our top 10. We're going to go round and round, right? The first person to go will pick number 10. But everyone on this panel, on this show today, has 2 vetoes. So if Bobby, for example, with the number 10 pick, makes a surprise and picks the Cowboys, Ray could veto him. He could say, I don't think the Cowboys deserve to be a number 10, or I think they deserve to be higher, but I'm going to put somebody else here. I could then veto Ray, but Bobby could not veto me. Each of us get 2 vetoes. This is going to be a slobber knocker. And we are going to do it right now. We already did the coin toss. Number 10, the real BK Bob Keller.
No, I feel like I should wait just so I could probably sneak them in when you guys have already used your vetoes or something like that. But I'm going to go with my 90s Cowboys. Just because of the powerhouse. They were one of the original trifectas. They really took that 90s dynasty and really ran with it. I know they didn't have much competition there in the mid to late 90s. The 49ers come to mind. But that 92 through 95 season with the trifecta of Aikman, Irvin, and Smith, I don't know if they can be touched here. I didn't want to put them too high because there is a lot of dynasties that have done some work over the years. But because of just the dominance that they had, I gotta at least try and slip them in here at number 10, guys. I'm gonna go the 1990s Dallas Cowboys.
Right?
So you know what's wild? You and I both haven't been number 10. So I was like, wow. When I saw that, I was like, I didn't think they would be, higher on the list for me. I think 10 is the right spot for them. I do have some honorable mentions that we could talk about towards the end of the show, but yeah, I think the 90s Cowboys at 10 is fine. I had them there too. And like I said, when you win 3 and 4 years,
especially in the NFL, it was tough.
Yeah,
tough in the NFL.
That's huge. And once again, you cannot think about 90s football without thinking Dallas first. Once again, Denver won a couple of times. Green Bay stuck in there 1-1. Excuse me, but you can't. The Giants won at the beginning of the decade, but you can't think of 90s football without thinking of the star. So yeah, I think 10 is appropriate for them, in my opinion.
Wholeheartedly agree with you, Ray.
Hey.
And I hate that I have to use my first veto so soon, but I'm going to. I'm going to veto this. I think that 3 championships in 4 years, that's a great accomplishment, absolutely. But I hate that I'm vetoing them for who I'm about to veto them for. But the number 10 on the MTP list is going to be the 1996 to 2000 New York Yankees. They won 4 championships in 5 seasons. and they did not have a big fall off after. That was the rise of Derek Jeter. That was, you have Roger Clemens gets there a little bit later. That's in the 2000s. But that entire lineup, that's what actually started cooking for our generation, the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry, is that these pricks just keep winning. They won all those years ago, and now they keep winning. I think 4 out of 5 is more impressive than 3 out of 4. Bobby, I really wish it wasn't. I didn't have to use my veto now. And now I'm going to have to be strategic about this next one, but sorry to do it. So, number 10, New York Yankees. You guys love it, hate it. I know Bobby hates it, but can you at least respect it?
Yeah, no, I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, respect it. I mean, for what they did and the dominance they had, I mean, you can argue they could be higher. I'm sure, when this is released, some will say, how can it not be higher? And once again, there's a few more teams, a few more franchises that people will feel that way. But, that's why they have to stay tuned, because there's a lot more disagreements coming.
That's right. All right. So for the number 9, the 9th best dynasty of all time, according to MTP, right?
I'm going to the college ranks. I'm going with the UCLA men's college basketball team in the 70s. That team with Bill Walton, I think they won like 4 in a row at one point. Like they were a powerhouse. And if you was looking to go to the league at that time, UCLA was the place to go. Obviously, you had Lou Alcindor, who turned into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You had Bill Walton. So that UCLA team of the 70s in college basketball, they were the talk of the town. They were the team. And I felt like they deserve to be on this list.
It would be my turn to go next. I'm not going to veto this. I think that they were a wagon. They had stars, like you just mentioned. But most importantly, I'm not going to waste my second veto on the second on the second choice. So I'm kind of fucked here. Bobby, what are you going to do?
I had them a little higher, to be honest, but I'm okay with it as long as they're on this list, because I kind of thought they were going to get overlooked. This team was such a wagon in those days, man. They were the only undefeated team ever before the Kentucky team, right? Wasn't it them in Kentucky? So I'm totally down with that. I was gonna put them a little higher. I'm a little tempted to veto just to put another team on this list, but I think I'm gonna save that for a little bit later. So we're gonna stick with UCLA number 9. I'm okay with that.
All right. So for number 8, I think it's hard to really define the accurate length of a dynasty, right? I think if you're like with the Patriots, with the old Yankees team, with the Celtics, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, I'm gonna pick for number 8 the 1999 through 2014 San Antonio Spurs. 5 championships in 15 years. You talk about the Admiral David Robinson. You talk about Tim Duncan, Tony Parker. Oh God, who's Monty out here? Yeah, Monty Ginobili, and Pop. Like in an era where it was Phil Jackson, his only other adversary or his only other equal in this time period was Greg Popovich. And I mean, again, 5 championships in 15 years. So my bid for number 8 would be the San Antonio Spurs. Bobby?
No veto here. I'm okay with this, just because a lot of people could break up this team into 2 separate dynasties, where you kind of have it's not really 2 separate. You could start it earlier, where you could start it that first season that Tim Duncan got there, and run it all the way through the 2000s. But didn't they go back again too in the late 2010 era?
Yeah, so they won in 99, 03, 05, 07, and then they went to back-to-back finals. So lost in 2013, and then they beat Miami 5 in 2014.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. I knew there was a later one too. Yeah, no, I'm okay with that just because of the longevity. I'm really tempted to do this because I don't know how high up on this list we can get them, but that's all right. That's all right. We're gonna keep this one rolling because I really wanted to see the Spurs on this list, so I'm okay with them at 8.
Right?
Yeah, I need to hold on my vetoes to the top 5. So, like, this is, but I like where this is going because, like I said, I can tell that we thought about this a lot long and hard about who should be where, And like I said, you can't, once again, the last 25 years, you cannot think about basketball, even though they're in a smaller market. You cannot think about basketball and think about dominance and not speak of the San Antonio Spurs. Once again, they're not the only basketball team that we brought up tonight on this list, obviously. But like I said, they deserve to be there because of their run. And like I said, for all the points that you guys made, like I said, Pop was the guy. To me, I think he's a better coach than Phil Jackson, but that's another, podcast another day. But yeah,
Love that.
They were awesome. They were awesome.
Fun.
All right, BK, number 7.
All right, number 7, I'm going the Geno Auriemma UConn dynasty that has spanned now, 25, 30 years we're going on. Maybe not that long, but it's been a long time. You can just, every single year, that team is in the Final Four for over 2 decades. I know that this might be a little too low on the list. Personally, I think that they could and should be higher, but I wanted to make sure that they got here. So I think 7's a good spot to slip them in. You talk about longevity, you talk about dominance, and you talk about women's basketball, really. Women's basketball in a shell was UConn's women's basketball pretty much until Caitlin Clark, this new Caitlin Clark era. So for that reason alone, I think they belong on this list.
Yeah, I mean, 10 titles in 16 years. That's tough to fucking beat, but I have a feeling that Ray's going to do something about it.
Yeah. And it's like this is the toughest one so far. So spoiler alert, they were in my honorable mentions because I feel like they should have been talked about. I have the Lakers here at 7.
Which one?
The 80s Lakers. So they won 5 in a 10-year span. So they won in 80, 82, 85, 87, 88. I just think, to me, like, winning 5 titles in a decade is insane. And then you went to another few. They went to, I think, 9 finals in that stretch. So the NBA literally ran through LA for a decade.
We're just gonna veto all my picks. What the hell?
Listen, Geno is he has been in women's college basketball. I mean, obviously, you think about Tennessee with Pat Summitt. Think about what Kim Mulkey did in Baylor. Now she's out over at LSU. What Dawn Staley is now doing in South Carolina. So, the women's game obviously has grown, and, Geno is the dawn of that for sure, or one of the dawns, I should say, of that. But yeah, I just think, to me, although they were awesome, like, to me, 5 and 10 years and at a pro level is to me is something that needs to be spoken about.
So veto alert. Ray has used one. I have used one. I want to use one again, but I cannot. I have to be strategic about this. So as it stands, the list so far at number 10 is the 1996-2000 New York Yankees. Number 9, UCLA men's basketball from the 1970s. Number 8, the San Antonio Spurs. And number 7 is the Showtime LA Lakers. 5 titles in 10 years. Like, again, when I was thinking about that, well, I'll talk. We'll talk about the list at the end. Number 6, Ray.
Going with our Patriots.
6th?
Because there's some other teams I have high, but yeah, I said, yep, got the Patriots. Once again, I was in Bobby's mode. I didn't want to put them because supposed to be like, oh,
I'm a veto. I'm not standing for that. I'm not standing for that.
Yeah.
I'm vetoing that. They're gonna be higher than this.
I was like, Bobby, when you hear the teams I have above, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, it's not like I put Tampa Bay Devil Rays above them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something like that.
I get it.
But I mean, once again, this is one of the things that we were talking about off the air. Like, you can speak about, do you want to put the 01 through 04 on there, or the, obviously, or the 20 to 2010 run. So, but yeah, listen, 6 titles in 20 years. The dominance they had overall was incredible. I think, like I said, 6 is appropriate only because maybe if you want to argue about the 10-year drought that they didn't get to the Super Bowl, but other than that, like I said, obviously 6 titles in 20 years is incredible. 10 Super Bowl appearances overall is amazing. So once again, could you argue for them to be higher? Sure, but I think 6 is appropriate. And like I said, it's I'm being objective here. Can I easily get a put in that one? But I'm like, there's some other teams I feel like that deserve some of that shine as well. But we'll get into that later on.
Bobby,
I mean, he already said he.
Yeah, I'm using it because this is just gonna end up without the Patriots on this fucking list, isn't it? I think Bama needs to go here. Yeah,
Okay.
I think the Nick Saban Bama team needs to be here, just because if you talk about excellence, and they were the college version of this throughout all those decades. And that Nick Saban Alabama team every single year is the team to beat. Still, I mean, he's gone now, but Bama's still gonna be one of the teams to beat this upcoming year. It's every single year that he's been there, and I just, it's too early for the Patriots. That dynasty has been so great for so long. It's just too early for him. I feel like this is a nice spot for the Alabama.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Just from the mere fact that I can't have a top 10 all-time dynasties list and not have the Patriots in the top 5.
Yeah,
Like
they got to be in top 5.
So with the number 5 pick, I'm going to put the New England Patriots dynasty in there for all the reasons that Ray just outlined. I just think for the same reason that that Ray vetoed the UConn Lady Huskies and put in the Showtime Lakers. Alabama's run from 2009 to 2020 was amazing. But the Patriots run from 2001 to 2018 was better. Yeah. So my pick for number 5 is the New England Patriots. We were all down. All of us are down to our last veto, by the way. So, Bobby, you are next. You're going to veto that? You're going to keep it?
No, we can keep him at 5. I guess that's good. I don't want to use my last veto here. So, yeah, I guess.
I tried to sucker you into that.
I guess we're good for 5. I still think they should be higher, but that's all right. I'll save. I got something up my sleeve for later that we'll save. So, it's all right.
Ray, obviously, you're not going to veto?
No. Once again, they deserve to be on the list. Like let me be clear. They're on the list, but it's just like I said, I just where I had them. I said there's some other teams that I say you could say they deserve it or not. So
now we're getting into the fun stuff, fellas. All right, number 4, Bobby, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna put one up my sleeve here, and just say Tom fucking Brady. Tom Brady himself. We're going 2 picks. Dude, I'm so serious about this. I thought about this, and I'm like, I want
that colors outside the lines here because he is not a dynasty.
Yes, he is. Tom Brady is a fucking dynasty. You can't tell me he's not, dude. All right, but I won't do that. I won't do that. I've been thinking about that. I thought about that literally all day long. I'm like, man, I just want to put Tom Brady on this fucking list. Just him as a person is a dynasty.
Facts.
And I had him as my number 1 for most of the day. I'm not gonna lie. I just had Tom Brady as number 1 because I watched that Hall of Fame speech and all that stuff for this past week, which was amazing. So, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go with the Yankees, the Bronx Bombers of days past, winning 20 World Series in 40 years. One almost every other year. There's a lot of runs and titled, stretches for a lot of teams, but no one had the longevity that those Bronx Bombers did, from Ruth all the way to Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, all those guys, man. And they're what made the Yankees the Yankees. Like we look at the Jeter Yankees and all those years. Listen, they won 5, 6, 7. These guys won 20 between 2-3 generations. They won 20 World Series in 40 years. That is absolutely absurd. So I'm going to go with the Yankees here. I think it's we're already running out of space on this list, so we got to make sure to get there.
The Yankees are, as of right now, before Ray goes, the Yankees now hold 2 spots on the MTP top dynasties list. Ray?
Yeah, that was at 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I won't go against that. I just think, to me, what they were able to do, once again, they, like I said, they legit became the most hated team in baseball because they won so much. I think they had like 18 titles before like 1962. So it's like they are they are the epitome of what a dynasty is. And like I said, whether you think they bought the best players, they drafted the best players, you name it, they just knew how to build a team. When all the best guys always went there to New York, and they always played well. So whether it was that era or the era that we saw with Jeter and Posada and the rest of that crew.
Well, for a long time, there was no free agency back then either. So, like, these guys were
Right.
just grooming these guys.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it and people heard it, but it's worth saying again. These motherfuckers won 20 world championships in 39 years. That is, I mean, that's dumb. That'll
So legit every other year they were winning it. That's
Right.
like every other year they
Yep.
was winning it. That's insane. Insane.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, that means that Ray, you have the number 3 overall pick.
So I'm gonna switch what I had. It's still football. I'm gonna go with the 70 Steelers. Winning four straight, winning 4 straight in the 70s. And once again, in the NFL, that's hard. I don't care whatever we're talking about. Winning 4 straight. Once again, the steel curtain, from me and Joe Green, LC Greenwood, Lynn Swan, Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris. Once again, winning 4 straight is that. Well, we will never see that again, maybe in any sport, but that was incredible. So once again, I'm giving credit where it's due. 70 Steelers winning 4 straight for my number 3 pick there.
I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to do this.
Come on.
I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you.
Do it.
No, you can't go out of turn here. So that would be chicken shit of me, Bobby. I'm going to veto you, Ray, and I can't fucking believe who I'm going to veto you for. So I'm going to use my last veto. It has to be the Montreal Canadiens. It has to be. I mean, you can't talk. First of all, there has to be
They're on my list. They're on my list too, but okay. Like that.
They won 16 titles in 27 years from 1953 to 1979. I mean, we just talked about the excellence of the Bronx Bombers and their run. 16 and 27. That's more than every other year. I mean, that's literally unbelievable, unprecedented run. I've now used my 2 fucking vetoes so far on the Yankees and the Canadiens. Great. Bobby, you're going to veto me, you're going to keep that.
We can't have a list without them on it, though.
Yes.
We're going to do it again, huh? Because I kind of want to. I don't have any left, which means 2 and 1 are going to stick if we do this.
Well, you don't have, but Ray has 1 left. Remember that. It's you want to be strategic about this. So if you're feeling a certain way about your top 3, obviously keep that veto. I just couldn't I did not know if anyone would have them higher, and we couldn't have a top 10 dynasties list without including them.
Right.
In my opinion.
Because we all know who's missing from this list, and they better be.
Yep.
All right, I'm not going to veto that one. I'm going to stick with it. We'll keep it. We'll keep it.
All right. Okay. Well, is that me now?
Yeah,
you just win.
Yeah.
All right. So the number 2 overall pick in the top 10 best dynasties of all time. Number 2 is the Bulls. And it's the 90s Bulls. And I think I only feel this way because it's Jordan. There are other teams out there that have won, but 6 in 8 seasons is unfucking believable. I mean, and 2 3-peats. I mean, Jordan was the best player in his era, and he was on the best team in his era, and there's just no other clear number 2. Like it's not even close. I guess
it's Houston because they won back-to-back. So
yeah, but he's the reason that Barkley, Stockton, Malone, Kemp, and Kevin Johnson all retired with no rings. It's because of MJ. So, and this list would go right to fucking shit if they weren't on it. So number 2, I'm putting MJ's Bulls on there.
You can keep them. That's
not
getting vetoed by me. They were who I was going to veto for the last one. So them being at 2 is okay. That's better.
And Ray, you're not going to veto them either?
No.
And that means that Bobby ends with the number 1 overall pick, and he's gonna end with 1 veto in his pocket because he cannot veto Ray.
We're going with the Celtics, boys. The Celtics from 56 to 69, winning the title almost every single goddamn year. They went 11 out of 13. Yeah, 11 out of 13 titles. Havlicek, Russell, Kuzi, you name it. This team had it. I'm even going to extend it out because it's a shame that we weren't able to include the '80s Celtics on here too. So like, let's just call it
You
the
can't
Celtics.
because they weren't even the best dynasty in that decade.
I know. It's a shame that Bird doesn't get.
Wait, right, yeah, because they
the
went.
80s.
Yeah, the Lakers, right? Yeah, correct. Yeah,
But no, Celtics number one, and I don't think anyone's going to veto that. 11 out of 13 with the best fast break and the best front court. Are you're going to take our C's off this list? They can't not be on it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't anyways. I mean, come on, 11 and 13 years. Come on, let's. I mean, that had to be the consensus. Like I said, if it wasn't going to be the 27 Yankees of that era, if it wasn't going to be that, then it had to be a team that won. Once again, for the 18th time. For those, I want people to hear that for the 18th time in their own city, right? Not 12 in one area, and like in their own city, they've won 18 times. But once again, we will never see 8 straight ever. Like I said, we've seen LeBron go to 8 straight finals. Obviously, he didn't win every year, but we will never see a team go to 8 straight finals and win every single time. And he only got stopped because of some guy named Wilt Chamberlain. You know, he was pretty good back in the day.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why it wasn't 10 straight.
A couple.
You know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable.
Honorable mentions.
Well, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Before. So the list, as it said, it is now cemented in stone. The MTP top 10 dynasties of all time. Number 1, the Boston Celtics from 1956 to 1969. Number 2, MJ's Bulls. Number 3, the Montreal Canadiens. Number 4, the New York Yankees, the Bronx Bombers from 1923 to 1962. Again, 20 fucking, so stupid. Number 5, the New England Patriots, 2001 to 2018. 6, Alabama football, 09 through 20. 7, Showtime Lakers. 8, this might be the most controversial one if you think about it. 8 is the San Antonio Spurs, 99 to 2014. 9, UCLA men's basketball in the 70s. And 10, this could also be, this. I might have fucked up this list for all of us. Number 10 is the 1996 to 2000 New York Yankees. Before we talk about honorable mentions, how do you think this list holds up, in your opinion?
The only thing I would change is I think that the Chiefs' current standing dynasty might and should replace the Yankees at the end at number 10.
Do you think 3 and 5 is better than 4 out of 5
in football? Yes.
Really?
Yeah, and because of even they have been to 4 out of 5, and they only lost to Tom Brady, who I wanted to put on this list as number fucking 1. So yeah, I think the Chiefs should be at number 10. I think that would make this list round out much better. But I don't have a problem with most of it, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's really ticky-tack because, unlike what I was saying, there's a lot of dynasties out there. There's a lot of teams that have been good for a very, very long time. A couple honorable mentions, the Islanders and the Oilers were the 2 ones that I wanted to possibly get into this list of 4 in a row, and on the Gretzky years in Edmonton. But I'm okay with it. I just think the Yankees, I just hate that they're on there twice, man. That sucks.
I mean, but unfortunately, that's just how good they have been. It's wild. But the only one that I feel like is glaring that none of us even brought up in our conversations is the Vince Lombardi Packers.
Oh yeah.
So they. I mean,
That's probably why, because of that reaction.
Once again, say. I get the rivalry, I get it, but they were titles down for a while up there, and they did their thing in that era. So I felt like once again they didn't make our final list, but like I said, honorable mention. But they definitely deserve some love because they were incredible in the heyday in the Vince Lombardi-era.
Tom Brady's definitely a fucking dynasty.
What about
he is the Tom Brady dynasty. That's what it's called.
Listen, I know. I do agree, but for just to make sure that we keep this list on the up and up, we couldn't allow that to be on there. But guys, we didn't include the Warriors.
Fuck the Warriors.
I mean,
All right,
yeah,
but do you consider that a dynasty?
4 and 8 years. Yeah, I mean, they definitely. I mean, once again, but who do you take off to put them on there then? Who would you take off?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, yeah, Bobby's gonna take off the Yankees.
Listen, they went to 5 straight. I think they went to 5 straight finals, if I'm not mistaken, as a team. They went to 5.
Warriors?
Yeah. They went to 5 straight. Did it?
They lost
LeBron
2.
went to 8 straight.
Cleveland, they played Cleveland 3-4 times in a row, and then then Toronto, and then they beat us. But yeah, I mean, listen, 4 and 8 years is incredible. That fourth one, I think, crystallized it. I think they looked at differently if they only won 3, but to get to that fourth one when most people thought that their run was over, that matters. So yeah, I'm sure once again, once this drops, I'm sure that would get spoken about. So I'm glad they were brought up. Because once again, it was 10, not 20. If it was 20, like I said, that would make it less fun, and it obviously would have been easier to fill out. So yeah, there was always going to be someone that was got left off. Once again, I'm glad that Bobby brought up the Edmonton Oilers too, because once again, even though it recently biased, yes, we know they just lost currently. But when 99 was out there, maybe the greatest athlete across sports ever, the man won 1,000 MVP awards. So to win 4 straight is fucking insane. So that's what I'm saying.
And Islanders won 4 straight too.
Say it again.
The Islanders won 4 straight too.
Yeah. So exactly, and then Montreal won 4 in the 70s as well. So, and I can say this now that this part's over. I did have Montreal on the list. I had the curveball for Mike. So
Great.
It was
My
like,
two.
once again, I give credit where it's due, but I was
Right.
like, I have to do this in order. I have to pivot here. If I don't pivot here, I'm gonna lose a veto.
I mean, so I'm the only one that used both, so that's great. So I felt proud of my own game. The 49ers from 81 to 94.
Yep, they deserve it too. Yep.
I mean, we're talking Montana, Rice,
Roger Craig.
Steve Young. But I mean, I could argue, I think all of us could, that run from, like I said, from 81 to 94, that signified the changing of offenses in the NFL. Like everything developed from that entire offense and the West Coast offense, and we didn't even mention them.
Well, no, they was an honorable mention for me as well. I even had another football team. This is college. I had the U from the 80s on there as well.
Ooh, and even early 90s or early to late 90s.
I mean, when you think about, I mean, we probably grew up. Well, I mean, we're probably biased because the era we grew up in, but that 2001 University of Miami team had like 30 pros on there. Like, it was unreal. Like, the worst guy was their quarterback, and that was Ken Dorsey. Like, but other than that,
and he's their OC now.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But it was like Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis, DJ Williams, Reggie Wayne. Like, it was just it was too much. It was too much. So they deserve to get on there too. I don't think, like I say, I think about other college teams, like maybe USC gets on there. Maybe they had a next little run too in the 2000s.
What about the Shaq Kobe Lakers?
See, that's why I asked. Like, you can argue.
Well, yeah. I did. Well, that's why I think Mike asked me which one, but I was like, once again, 3 straight is dope. Like, once again, they went to 4 straight finals. But once again, you win 5 in a 10-year span.
But so did Kobe. Kobe won 5 from 2000 to 2010.
Kobe won.
Yeah, the Lakers, just like the Magic.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe. I mean, granted, they both beat Celtics teams to get there, but I'm saying I mean, I view this the 80s run. I guess I view that as more iconic. Once again, that 3-peat's a 3-peat. So once again, and I know where you're about to laugh at this one. Maybe the Pistons sneak on here too, because they would have won 3 in a row if Isaiah Thomas didn't get hurt, and they would have been the first team in that era because the Lakers didn't do it, the Celtics didn't do it in that era. Detroit would have been that team to close out the 80s with 3 in a row, and we would look at them differently too. But they won back to back, so I think they don't get remembered in the history the way that they could or should have. But yeah, there's plenty of teams.
If you're doing should have, would have's, I mean, if
I know. That's what makes it. That's what makes it fun.
How about the current iteration of the Celtics? Come on. Well on
No,
their
let's
way,
go, let's
baby.
get-
Well on their
let's
way.
let's win a couple more before.
Yeah, they
we
get
get there.
championship DNA for sure, but they're not a dynasty yet. You know what I mean?
Well on their way, baby.
Quick question: do you consider the 1990s Atlanta Braves in the conversation?
What, because of all the
Yes,
division titles?
Yes.
And they won a championship.
Yeah, they won
yes, yeah.
one, and they won what, 14 straight division titles, something
The
like that.
National League ran through them. Yes, yes. At that
14 straight. I think that's what it
14
was.
straight different. That's once again. That's we praise it up here and down Route 1. So yes, absolutely. So sorry to my boy Aaron who's going to listen to this. Sorry, yes, but Atlanta once again they were the National League for a long time.
Yeah.
And
You think about
they
Chipper
went to
Jones.
four or five World Series in the
Yeah.
90s, I think. So yeah,
Chipper
absolutely.
Jones, Andrew Jones, Tommy Glavine, Greg
John Rocker.
Maddox, John Smoltz, John Rocker.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mark
that team
Wahlberg,
was
Rocker.
Yeah.
that team was a
Rollins,
fucking wagon.
Brian Jordan. Yeah, man, come yeah.
Brian Jordan.
Yeah. But remember Triple Play 99? Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
I used to trade for
That's
them.
yeah,
I used to
incredible,
trade for
incredible
them
game,
every
incredible.
time.
Yeah.
But I want to
we
discuss.
could do this for 2 hours, but like
I want a discussion on this one because I think it's interesting and none of us mentioned them. The 2004 to 2013 or even 2018 Boston Red Sox. Why were they not on anybody's list? Is that not a dynasty?
And it was literally three separate rebuilds for them to get there. You know what I mean? I guess 04, 07.
04, 07, 13, it's all Ortiz. He's still there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so we'll put Ortiz on the list, just like we should put Tom Brady on the list. We just have individuals, just like, nah, this guy was a dynasty.
but also too, I mean, think about
It's like
the
Western Civ, the Ming dynasty, the
But
Ortiz dynasty.
well, that's the thing, the baseball team that we did put on the Yankees, once again, had they won 4 out of 5 or 4 and 7, I think maybe they looked at differently. But I mean, listen, 4 and 15 years is still incredible, regardless of what they've done, currently. Once again, they've gotten in and they've handled business every time. So either you're getting swept in this current era, or they're winning in 5 or 6. So it was fun to watch. It has been fun. It has been fun to watch them had that resurgence. But yeah, I'm sure somebody will bring it up in the comments too. So I welcome that. And like I said, there's going to be other teams that we have forgotten for sure.
And in the comments has to be someone mentioned that women's basketball. One of those two teams should have been on.
Oh
here.
yeah, I mean,
the Lady Vols or UConn, either one.
UConn won 10 championships in 16 seasons.
Yeah, either of those two
But-
teams should have been on this list. I get why they're not. I do, but
when someone does this list in maybe 5 years on the, but then again, it could very well be the show. We do this in 5 years. We're gonna talk about Dawn Staley being on his list.
you think so?
Yeah, what she do with South Carolina and what she's been to produce out of there, Asia Wilson, Camila Cardozo, like even she have a girl even from Boston. Her name is
They
Harley.
ended.
They've been killing it.
They pretty much ended the UConn dynasty, right? Weren't they the
Right.
first ones to beat
Yeah.
them?
So in about 5 years, we're gonna look at South Carolina and say, okay, like they deserve to be on the list for sure.
Well, let me just ask this question, because I like the way that you just framed that makes me want to just ask this one more time. If this show, if we're doing this exact show with all three of us 5 years ago, do we put the Red Sox on that list? Is this just an indication of how much interest has fallen off from that team since 2018?
Probably. I think recency bias matters. To be transparent, I think it does. They, like I said, they deserve to be mentioned, and we did. You did mention them. So, but yeah, I think if this is 2019 that we're doing this, and they just came off the greatest season in Red Sox history when they went 108 and 54. Absolutely, because you were thinking, oh, we're about to go on another run, and then unfortunately, it didn't happen. Or even if we did this, even if we did this in 2021, right, when they went a great on a good run during that postseason, I think we would have looked at them differently. Especially if they had snuck in and got that one, because it had been like 5. That had been 5 and 18 years at that moment. We would look at that differently for sure. Hell, people love how they're playing right now. I mean, they get smoked right now tonight as we record this, but the way they played this season, like fans are starting to get interested again. It's like, oh, it's amazing what happens when you put a decent product on the fucking field.
Or when you set expectations so low and then they
Yeah,
surpass them.
that too. But this is Boston, so I mean that you can
But
have this team. They still want you to win 80 games.
Bobby, I know for a moral certainty that if we recorded this in 2018 or 2020, right?
Mhm.
The Red Sox are on your list, are on this list, dude. So why did you not even mention them, Bobby?
I just the whole rebuilds, man. I just feel like it was two different of iterations between 07 and 13 and even 18. You know what I mean? Like they're not the same team whatsoever. I just didn't even think of them, to be honest. I didn't.
Right.
It didn't even come to my head.
Let me ask you a question. They won 4 in 14 years, right? If they had won 4 and been to and let's just say 6 or 7, would they be in there?
Probably, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's probably because of the highs and lows. Now that I think about it, it's
Yeah.
because of how low the lows are.
Because they never lost a World. They haven't lost a World Series in the 2000s.
Yeah, that takes them off the list because of how low
Right.
those lows are.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. But you think about because I think about so our like 05, I mean, obviously they lost to the eventual champion. 06, they had a lot of injuries. 07, getting Beckett and he goes crazy. I thought that 08 team had a really good shot, but Tampa Bay was just
Tampa
young.
Bay.
They were hungry. 09, I think they finally
Those that don't stop believing you, remember? Those
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they
Yeah.
finally they finally lost to the Angels in 09 because they kept beating Anaheim. Like it didn't matter. They was always beating them. And then they had they had the Chicken and Beer year and then the Bobby Valentine year. So it's like, once again, that's still not mine. Cause listen, I want to be clear because folks say, Celtics just won the Patriots. Like to me, when the Red Sox are at their peak, this is a baseball town first. I think it's them and everybody else, in my opinion. I think when the Red Sox are on, they're number one, and then everyone kind of falls underneath, and it kind of fluctuates, right? Like right now, obviously the Celtics are on top because they won. Obviously, the Patriots had their sign, and same thing with the Bruins. But when the Red Sox are on fire, they're the hottest stick in the town, and they are number one in the city by far, in my opinion. When they're on, it's not even close.
I have one honorable mention, and I'm going to do this because I stole DK's entire format for a game show. I'm gonna do from soccer, Liverpool from again 1972 to 1990. I use this as my example, but they won 11 English titles in 18 years.
Wow.
And I mean that's why I don't watch soccer, you know that, but I know the name Liverpool. Like there are just those clubs out there that you hear the name and you know it, but it's because of that absolute dominant run. And I think, again, the last thing I would say is, if the Chiefs win this year or this upcoming season, they leapfrog a couple of teams on this list. Like we could, that's what I think that's one of the best parts about this list is that it's going to change. We could literally do it every year and we would never get the same list.
Right.
Yeah, the Chiefs could go from not on this list to top 5 if they win a Super Bowl this year.
Well, hold on. Just to recap for those of you listening. Number 1, the Boston Celtics have won 11 titles in 13 years. The Chicago Bulls that won 6 titles in 8 years. The Montreal Canadiens that won 16 titles in 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Yankees at number 4 that won 20 championships in 39 years. And number 5 is the New England Patriots that won 6 in 18, right? Number 6, Alabama football from 09 to 20. Number 7, the Showtime Lakers. Number 8, the San Antonio Spurs. Number 9, UCLA men's from the 70s. And number 10, the 96 2000 Yankees. So I could honestly look at this list right now and say, if Mahomes and the Chiefs do it again, I'd put him at 10.
No.
I think
4 and what? 4 and 6 it would be?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I think what happens is because in
3 straight?
Yeah, but
that changes things.
Yeah, it's being an outside fan, obviously, when it comes to New England. I think people are praying that happens this year because they've been waiting for someone to be quoted looked at as a better dynasty than what New England did. So they're praying that they win this third in a row. I once again, it's hard in this free agency era where teams are getting better. But I'm sorry, after what we saw last year, it's like, look, if Lamar didn't get him last year, and as someone who has been a Lamar supporter on the show, he's never gonna get him. Like you had him at the crib, like you had him. You had him at the crib and y'all lost. So all I can always hold on to is that when he faced 12, he went home. So so that would always be well, that's not an opinion, that's a fact. So it is what it is.
All right, Bob, any last words on this list before we hang him up?
No, I think we rounded it out pretty good. I like the list. I thought I was going to be skeptical about it, but I think it holds up. I think it holds water. I really do.
At least for the next year.
Yeah.
All right. So for the real BK Bob Kelly, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, my name is Michael Marcangelo. We thank you so much for listening to Missing the Point, and we will talk to you later.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go, get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.